Good morning, everybody. So this is day 2. For those of you in the room that were here yesterday, you know what I'm about to say. However, we are blessed to have people who are freshly in the room. So a few things to be said. First of all, this is our first time trying something that we, based on the success of it, will absolutely continue. And that is working with schools really throughout the globe, because our largest number of registrants is Southern Hemisphere in Africa and in Brazil. And so the conference is being live streamed. So it is quote unquote archived, which to me is a lovely word, but to many people who are not bibliophiles, it sounds like, oh my gosh, we've put it in a cave. But everything is readily accessible on our website. Just give us a few days on this one. But this will be readily accessible. But when we began our partnership with CIBJO, which I spoke of yesterday, so CIBJO is a global organization that represents all facets, if you will, of the jewelry, and I think you could include precious metals and stones sector. We were, in effect, challenged to turn our, what you might call, taping into live streaming, because of course, you do one, you do the other. So after 2 years of that, we decided to try something, and I cannot get up here and talk to you about methodology of the test case, because we didn't even get that far. We just vowed we were going to try it. We talked to a lot of people to help us make it happen, and we did. So we have a live stream audience. We are thrilled. We welcome you from all parts of the world. We're very happy to have you. And I'm very happy to have each of you in the room. Now, one of the nicest things you get to do in life is say thank you. It is so easy to say the negative. And my father, who was a huge influence on me, always maintained that you should say the positive when you felt it, because you have absolutely no idea what's going to happen to you or the intended recipient of your remarks. So I want to thank the World Gold Council, Jewelers Mutual, SCS Global, Hoover and Strong, GIA, Rio Grande, SMO, Goldsmiths Fair, Gold Star, and the Responsible Jewelry Council, as well as Heritage Auctions. And one thing I do want to say is that we do not have, if you will, sponsors we go to seeking X money from whom we do not learn, with whom we do not work, and with whom we are not engaged. We are really blessed to be deeply engaged with people at each of these institutions, and every day is one step forward for all of us. So we are grateful, yes, the support, because it makes this possible, but at the same time, the counsel and advice, which also makes this possible. And to CIBJO, which does not appear here, but that relationship has been fundamental. And one of the reasons is so many of us in the room grew up with either a Euro-American or a Eurocentric perspective. It's absolutely the way we have shaped history. And we are now challenged to do something else, to situate ourselves in a global context. Gaetano presented the duality yesterday. Globalism is, quote, over, globalism is present. Well, we are all interconnected, and as you will see, rewards reaped in one place have consequences in another place, and that is something that people are beginning, or not beginning, but people really are deeply thinking about. Last year we had a session on the just transition. I suspect that's going to be coming back, but we have a climate session. I will go into that in just a minute. One of the things that I was thinking about this morning is how in every domain we have a rhetoric or a verbiage. And that verbiage becomes a shorthand, which is useful because a group of insiders, in effect, can cut to the chase in their discussion. But one of the things that happens is that it can be distancing from the actuality of what we are talking about. And it's one of the reasons that we try as hard as we do to have representatives speaking themselves from every aspect of what is referred to as, quote, the supply chain. And can we do better? Yes. But are we committed to that? Absolutely. And the supply chain, which is kind of an abstract concept, if you will, or the verbiage is abstract, as we saw yesterday from hearing about Brazil and West Africa, this is not abstraction. So the foundation of everything that we do is not an abstraction. And similarly, everyone feel your left hand, touch your neck or your wrist. If you are wearing a band, a chain, a pendant, a timepiece or a bracelet, you are wearing a crafted object. And craft, our ability to craft, our knowledge of craft, how we pass craft on, is at the heart of everything. The fact that innately instilled is our wish to craft out of what we contextually think is precious, that we want that thing, we have an innate inclination to adorn and to confer meaning on those objects. That matters. When you see the Pope's ring, your heartstring is pulled. So I wanted to just take a moment to kind of situate people away from the rhetoric and, if you will, into the reality of, well, semi-reality because we're still in this room, but to conjure in a Ouija fashion part of what we're talking about. Violet, can I have a program, please? So those were the things I wanted to open with, and I also wanted to say the following, which is that on the program today, we have, as we did yesterday with Melanie's wonderful presentation in the Pearl conversation, we have several makers with us who are all on the program today. They have worked with them. I encourage you, talk to them, and Melanie, who is also here wonderfully for us. Talk to them, look at their work, ask about the work. That is one of the exceptional privileges to me of these 2 days, and one of the things that I am forever grateful to Goldsmiths Fair about, because that is an opportunity to directly engage. It's 2 weeks with 2 days in the middle, flip over, 67 makers, my number may be a bit off, but you can go there and engage as deeply as you want. Handle objects, which is a critical aspect of experiencing them. Try it on if you want. Understand what the dynamic, if you will, between wearer and user is, and I don't want to mislead. They're fabulous hollowware and all the rest of it, but it's really an exceptional experience. And so all of you who have for example, factories. It is, or workshops with people who actually are creating things. One of the things that is a great privilege is to be able to go and actually see what is happening. So, as some of you know, I have a great fondness for Motown. And I just will tell you, ain't nothing like the real thing, baby, and it is true. So this morning, our opening, as yesterday was human rights and very intentionally done, today is climate. And the title written down, and I can tell you we're all going to be in for an ecstatic ride,